Hello, everyone. I'm Alan True, and welcome to the 247 Sports YouTube channel. It's July 1st. Official visits are over, and you know what that means. It's commitment season, and we have another big one coming up today as prospects around the country are announcing their college choices, and we have a four-star from the state of Illinois and off the beaten path a little bit in Illinois, Mount Zion, not in the Chicagoland area, but four-star tight end J.C. Anderson made sure many college coaches knew exactly where that school was. He's been on the recruiting radar since very early in his high school career, a standout not just on the football field, but on the basketball court. And that's what schools want in their tight ends. He is the new age power forward type tight end. You see him here at 6'6", 230 pounds, looks like a traditional inline tight end, but can play split out like a wide receiver and run routes with the best of them. And that's why he's a top 247 prospect. Top 10 tight end in the country, narrowed down a very long list of schools and offers to three: Auburn, Illinois, and Ole Miss. And I can tell you this thing has gone back and forth and had analysts wondering down the stretch as in-state Illinois made a strong push. Auburn got him on an official visit, and it seemed like the tide had turned towards the Tigers. But Ole Miss also got him on an official visit in late May into early June, and the Rebels have a lot of momentum. So we will find out shortly where J.C. Anderson will play his college ball. And that will now take us out to Mount Zion High School, where J.C. is standing by with the sweatshirts. We see the three schools there. J.C., first of all, thanks for joining us. Can you introduce who you have up on stage with you?
Yeah, I got my mom right here. It's her birthday today, actually. She's turning 52. So happy birthday to my mom. I got my dad. I got my sister Lainey and my sister Savina over here, and my brother-in-law BR. And then I got my sister Shoni and my sister Denver, and then my two brothers Reed and Ross over there. So.
All right. So can you talk a little bit about how your family has supported you through this process? Recruiting can be fun. It also can be stressful. A lot of miles logged, lots of decisions to be had and talks to be had. So how has your family helped you through that process?
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have this supporting cast with me. I mean, they've been a huge part of it. I've sat down with all of them before and talked through the pros and cons and everything. So, I mean, I couldn't really do it without them.
So I mentioned you got recruited very early in your career. Do you remember who your first offer was and when that came?
My first offer was actually from Marshall University. I think it was going into my freshman year or going into my sophomore year. That was very special to me because, I mean, obviously it was the first one. Had me freaking out and threw me for a loop. So, because at that time I thought I was going to be playing basketball in college, and it kind of like swayed where I was going.
So what has the rest of the process been like since then? What's it been like to get to know all of these coaches, visit all these schools, and try to get it from a big list of offers down to three and then now down to one?
Well, it's just been a huge process, and just such a big blessing to go see all these new places and meet all these amazing people and just make a ton of relationships with them, and all these huge names in college football I've gone to speak with and have conversations with. So it's just been insane and surreal, to be honest. I honestly just never really would have thought that this would happen, to be honest.
So when you think about the three schools that made it to today, that are on the table today, what was kind of a common thread maybe that united them, and what were some of the qualities that each of these programs had to allow them to be in your final three?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it just always came down to how I felt around the coaching staff and how much love and support they showed me. Obviously, all these coaches showed me love and support, but it's really just I got along the best with these position coaches, and really just the schools I could really see myself at and thriving at. So.
All right. Well, I think I've talked long enough. The world wants to know where you're headed. The floor is yours. Please announce where you'll be playing your college ball.
Well, thanks everyone for coming. This has been a really big deal for me, obviously. It's completely changed my life for me and my family, and I can never be more grateful for this to be happening, and for my family to be by my side, and my teammates and my coach just helping me through it. So I'll be going to the University of Mississippi.
JC, big congratulations, and congrats to all the Rebels fans that are watching as well. They're getting a great player here. So was it a difficult decision, and what was it about Ole Miss that made the difference?
It was a very difficult decision, to be honest. In the end, it clicked for me, but it was a long process, and it took a lot of thinking with me and my family. In the end, it's just where I feel like I could be developed the best to be league bound, and just where I felt more at home. So
they just had a tight end do very well from up here in the Midwest. Caden Prescorn went down there and did very well, and he's kind of similarly built and has some similar traits to you. How have they talked about how they'll use your talents and your abilities in their offense?
Well, they've told me that since I'm kind of a mixture of a receiving tight end and a blocking tight end, that's the kind of tight ends they need in their offense to make because their offense is such a high tempo offense, and they don't want to be able to take the tight ends on and off the field. They just want to keep one tight end in at the same time. So that's kind of how they told me that they're going to use me. So.
And to bring the conversation full circle, has there been any discussion of you trying out for the basketball team or maybe giving hoops a try in college as well, or is that done now?
They haven't really spoken about it, but I mean, I would be open to it. I miss playing hoops, so I'm sure my mom would love that too a whole lot.
At the very least, I'm sure you're a guy they won't want to see in intramural, so we'll keep that part of it alive at least. And then last thing, you talked about the use in the offense, but just in terms of personality. Coach Kiffin, Coach Cox, Coach Weiss, I know you got to know them really well. What was it about them, other than the X's and O's, that made you feel like you wanted to play for them?
They've been huge in this process, obviously. Just being there and sitting with them and just being around them. They're all three great people, and they really, at the end of the day, just made me feel most at home. And I could just see myself playing under Lane Kiffin and Coach Cox the most, to be honest. And yeah, they just made me feel at home.
Well, JC, congratulations on your big day. Appreciate you sharing with us. Any final words for the Ole Miss fans that are watching right now?
We're going to win a natty.
Don't need to say much more than that. Thank you, JC, family, and the staff at Mount Zion. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So there you have it, JC Anderson to Ole Miss. That's a big pickup for Ole Miss because, as I mentioned throughout the process, if you had handicapped this recruitment throughout, not a lot of people would have had Ole Miss, maybe even in the top three, let alone the school that he ends up picking. Illinois had the inside track at one point. Auburn seemed to have a lot of momentum during the summer, but Ole Miss adds him to their offense. We mentioned Caden Prescorn. We mentioned some of the other tight ends they have in their room. Luke Hayes has transferred in. But the reason JC Anderson fits so well with them, he mentioned never having to come off the field. This is a guy that is already 6'6", 230 pounds right now. He's going to be able to add some weight. Doesn't need to add a ton of weight, though, and be able to put his hand down, play on the line, play attached, but he can also split out. As you see in these clips, they're running him on sweeps, handing him the football, and you're going to maybe hear some Dawson Knox comparisons. I think those are very apt, but Lane Kiffin has found a way to use tight ends from back in his time at the NFL through his time in college football. And he's getting one of the best in a very strong year of tight ends in the Midwest with JC Anderson. So big pickup for the Rebels. Once again, big thank you to JC, his family, and the coaches at Mount Zion for helping us get that set up and sharing the moment with us. Keep it tuned right here at 247 Sports, not just 247sports.com, but get to Inside the Rebels for the latest in this Ole Miss class. Also, this 247 Sports YouTube channel, we have so many more upcoming commitments to be had. They're going to be live streamed right here. So please like, please subscribe, please keep it tuned in. Thank you once again to JC Anderson. I'm Alan True. Appreciate everybody for watching. Have a good one.